These people that gobble up their little chicken, they don't ever talk about the chicken farmers. So what Big Chicken has done, okay, so suppliers like Tyson, am I the for telling my son his grandma eats cow and not beef? My partner and I have been vegan for years. We have a 4-year-old son who eats the same thing as us, so for now is also plant-based. We have always said that it is our goal to instill vegan values in him, but ultimately, once he gets to the age where he starts to have more autonomy, he won't be punished or anything for choosing to consume animal products when presented with the opportunity. That will be his choice. Though, of course, it would be a secret bummer for us, lol. But that's why we refer to him as plant-based rather than vegan until he chooses the label for himself, basically.
Okay.
The rest of our family is not vegan and generally doesn't try to be accommodating regarding that either. For example, my mother-in-law insisted in throwing a birthday party for my husband, but then mentioned the morning that she would be serving pizza, cake, and ice cream, not vegan. That we should bring our own versions to the party if we wanted to eat some, which wouldn't have been unreasonable except for that it was the party that she was throwing for my husband. Just little things like that.
Yeah.
I love throwing parties for people where they can't eat anything that's served. Like, that's crazy.
Why are people so weird about
asshole.
others with dietary restrictions?
So weird. Especially if it's vegan or vegetarian.
Yeah. Like, does anybody do this, like, for kosher eaters?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Really? That would piss me off so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, people are just really shitty about it when it's... Even about allergies. And with allergies, you have to be careful because some people will be like, I think you're faking, and then sneak in the allergen.
I've read some of those stories.
Yeah, and it's just... Oh, God, it's crazy.
Yeah.
People are just so weird about food, especially if you don't eat what they like. I don't get it. Like,
yeah.
Probably because I've had I have an alternative diet, but like, it's just like what someone eats is like not your problem.
Right.
Like, it would not kill you to like.
Exactly.
Like, the thing that surprises me is like, it wouldn't kill you to eat vegan food. Like, that's not against what you like. These are the things that you also eat.
You already eat these things. Yeah.
You already eat all of these things.
Well, not always, but most people.
Well, it's like you eat oats, you eat peanuts, you eat soybeans. You eat them all the time. Why can't you eat them in ice cream form? Like, that's fucking delicious. Why are you so offended by it?
Yeah. Once you put enough sugar into something, it's delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And like, I get not having a taste for some like mock meats or like like preferring milk over soy milk, but like, if you're gonna throw a party for someone, you better serve food that they can eat. Otherwise, that's crazy.
Okay. There's got to be more post, right?
Yeah, there's more post. Anyway, last weekend we went to a barbecue at a relative's house. Per usual, we bought our own food, veggie dogs. Which at a barbecue, bring your own food.
Yeah.
That's no problem. You just bring your stuff and then they grill it, no problem. People have been very nice. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
My son was sitting in my mother-in-law's lap with his veggie dog and she was eating a beef burger. She asked him if he wanted a bite. This is the first time I've seen her offer him meat. She wasn't trying to be sneaky about it. I think that by asking him in front of me, she was testing the waters a little bit regarding our earlier statements about him having a choice to eat animal products if he wanted to. He said, "Is it cow or veggie?" We eat plenty of veggie burgers, veggie nuggets, etc., so he knows what things are made out of. Mother-in-law says, "No, honey, it's beef." He said, "Beef?" She said, "Yes, it's good. Try a bite." And I was sitting across the table watching my son process her answer, in which my opinion was intentionally indirect. So I offered, "Beef is another word for cow." My son said, "Cow?" and pulled kind of a shocked face, which actually surprised me because he knows most other people eat animals, but he acted like it was unheard of. My mother-in-law gave me such a dirty look. My son did not try her burger, ate a few more bites of his veggie dog, and went to play. Mother-in-law got up and went inside, and I didn't see her for the rest of the barbecue. Later, my father-in-law called my husband, berating him for allowing me to drive a wedge between your mother and her only grandchild by making him think that she is an animal killer or something. This is close to verbatim. That I can't keep him from eating normal food forever, and that I should apologize. We don't think I did anything wrong, but brother-in-law texted my husband also, said he thinks that their parents are overreacting, but I should not have been so specific about what beef is, and that it does seem like I was trying to throw my mother-in-law under the bus. Am I the asshole?
No.
No.
This,
Most children do not want to kill animals.
this woman was deliberately trying to obfuscate
misleading
the
your
fact.
child.
Yeah. She used a word that isn't used in his vocabulary to try to trick him.
Yeah, she tried to trick him.
Yeah.
Into eating meat. That's probably why he was so shocked.
Yeah.
Because your mother-in-law tried to trick him into eating
Right.
something that he didn't want
Somebody
to eat.
that he thought he could trust was trying to be shitty to him, and he was old enough to understand that that shouldn't happen.
Right. Like, this is an intense betrayal as well. For, like, to realize that people can, like, lie to you in that way is a lot for a child. So support your son in that way.
Yeah.
This post is old.
Yeah, no, that,
No, it was posted 8 days ago. This isn't an old post.
These parents are incredibly reasonable. It sounds like they're the healthiest.
So reasonable.
I don't know a single vegetarian that is unreasonable, and the vegans that are unreasonable they're the rare exception.
Most people who are vegan and vegetarian are like this, especially since like
most of them won't even tell you if they can avoid it because of this shit.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is like people are like, "Oh, you just brought up being vegan immediately," and I was like, we're talking about where we're going to eat after this. Like, that's the only reason it was brought up. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, most people grew up eating meat and wish that we didn't.
The last wedding I went to, they grilled up a dozen portobello caps for the veggies in the crowd, and that was way more than we needed, so I snagged one. It's so good. I love mushrooms so much.
Some of those portobello things are so fucking good.
Yeah, they are.
Sometimes they're like, I hate when people have when restaurants, not when people, but when restaurants have a vegan or vegetarian option and it's just like not like seasoned or such an afterthought or like not properly cooked. And I'm just like, like I went to this one restaurant and like, it was a steakhouse, sure.
Okay.
But like they had this one vegetarian meal, but it was just vegetables in what was essentially like a pasta sauce, but there were no noodles.
Okay.
So it was just
why
veggies,
not just
like bell peppers and stuff.
Like a pasta primavera.
Yeah, but without the pasta. There was no pasta.
Yeah.
I just ate sauce and
Did they have pasta
peppers.
on the menu otherwise?
Yeah, they had like a mac and cheese. Because it was like a steak place. I also ate the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
But I don't, sometimes I don't like eating all sides, so like but I honestly, when I go to places like that now, I only eat the sides because I know that the main dish is going to be trash. There's only one place that was very meat focused. I could barely eat anything, but they had one pasta dish, and I ordered it, and it was the best pasta dish. I ate so much pasta that I threw up when I got home. Like, I have never been like, this is a place that has like a 6-month wait. Like, this is like creme de la creme of places to fucking eat.
Evidently, Bozo the Clown, he was the host of a kids TV show back in the 70s. His show had a 10-year wait list for tickets.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta buy it before you even have a kid.
Yeah, right? If you like the second you have a child born, you better get in the line right now. Or they're not going to want to go.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, your mother-in-law tried to lie to your son. Oh, there's an edit here. Edit.
Oh.
Thank you all for your feedback and the not the asshole judgment. I realize no one's checking my posts anymore, but in case they are, I'll address 2 things. One, we haven't introduced him to other words for beef and pork before, but he's 4, and since they aren't regularly used in our house, I guess he forgot.
Yeah.
2, regarding his nutrition, I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah, fuck you.
Before I made this post, vegan and vegetarian parents actually look into what they're feeding their child and make sure that they're nutritionally balanced. The average person doesn't even, like, some of the diets I've seen people feed kids is just like so like incorrect.
It's another scenario of people that don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about all of a sudden become experts on women's basketball because you don't know shit about nutrition. Why are you trying to talk to the person who did specific research to be able to keep their body alive?
Right. And like one thing, the only thing about with young kids is like, okay, so I'm going to mom shame a little bit.
Okay.
But she
Most
wasn't
moms
vegan or
need shamed.
vegetarian. Neither was her son. Neither vegan or vegetarian, right? Not lactose intolerant.
Okay.
So she fed her young child, like, instead of drinking regular milk, because she thought that the hormones in milk would be bad for him or whatever, which is kind of true.
Well, yeah.
But she gave him almond milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Not
horrible,
great.
and it makes people go into puberty too soon. But instead of dairy milk, she gave him almond milk, and you can't substitute almond milk for dairy milk because it doesn't have enough fat and it has too much sugar, so it's not a 1-for-1.
Right.
Like, you need to make up that fat in other places and the calories because it's very low calorie. It's essentially sugar water, but she just like 1-to-1 replaced milk with it, and I was just like,
yeah, you can come close with cashew milk, right?
Soy milk is the actual good replacement. But she also thought that I guess she wasn't worried. She wasn't worried about the hormones in the dairy milk. She was worried about the hormones in the soy milk. Because I mentioned something about, because I kept soy milk.
Does this have to do with the right wing?
The phytoestrogen.
Jesus Christ.
They think that the phytoestrogen. She wasn't worried about the estrogen in the dairy milk. She was worried about the phytoestrogen.
The estrogen in soy milk is less than that in most of your vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, phytoestrogens are not the same as people estrogens.
Right.
And also, mammalian estrogens found in dairy milk and those growth hormones actually impact your body. The phytoestrogens in soy do not. Like,
the shit that we put into cows.
I eat so much soy and I have no tits. My diet used to be mostly soy. Just tofu, soy milk, fucking, I got no tits.
Yeah.
Give me tits. I don't have any.
I think that is unrelated, probably.
I'm proof that you can eat soy every single day and still have no tits.
Right. Yes. Because she was worried her son would develop that. Yeah.
He was just like, that whole situation. I don't think she it was like a trafficking situation. I think she was like, I honestly don't know. I didn't talk to her that much. So any opinion I have might not be real.
Okay.
But also, she was a bitch to me. So.
Right.
Fuck you.
But yeah, the shit we put in our cows and our chickens especially really
horrible.
fuck with your developmental.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
they were actually.
I'm pretty sure scientists have determined that like puberty has moved up by 2 or 3 years because of the growth hormones we use for chickens.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No? Cow?
Well, I've seen the stuff in the milk. I haven't seen the stuff about the chicken.
I think chicken too has been shown.
It could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like studying like even like they were studying family cohorts, and like you could see sisters that were just a couple years different in age, and they were hitting puberty at like the same time because of how many hormones were being pumped into the younger ones from the So
I think I missed that wave.
Oh, I missed it too.
Oh, really? Okay. It's that much recent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very recent. Because, I mean, I'm sure it was like a little bit.
Yeah, it was probably ramping up
But now
by
it's
about
like,
2000 or so.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if me and my sister are actually like in the same age graphic, but that's... I wonder if we were those ages.
I don't know.
I didn't pay that much attention because I never really know how old I am. I feel ancient and also so young.
You're 23?
I'm 25.
5. I can never remember anybody.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah, don't try to trick people into eating things that they have said they don't want to.
Especially not 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
Don't trick kids into doing things that they wouldn't otherwise do.
Yeah.
Not
tricking kids into eating their vegetables sometimes is that's slightly okay because they need those nutrients.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
tricking kids into trying things is, But once they've had it, trust them that they say they don't like it. There's probably a reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And just find other foods. Like my mom was a terrible cook, like horrible, abysmal. So like it's actually like quite torturous because people are like, oh, you know, kids, they just don't want to eat your food. Just make them eat their dinner, you know, blah, blah, blah. But like this was like, it was so bad that like you couldn't serve this to an adult. Like that is like, no offense, Mom. Offense. Yeah, a lot of offense.
Of
offense. You could have just tried a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Because that is fucking repulsive.
Forcing your child to eat and restricting your child from eating are the two most dangerous things you can do to cause them eating disorders later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend, actually. I am referred to as Uncle Alabrel to these little girls, though I don't know if that's correct anymore. We haven't talked in a while. But these children were brought up with a pretty healthy household around food. And generally, if there was a new food anywhere near them, they wanted to try it. Like, literally... they were at a farmer's market, and they asked what that meat was, and their parents, oh, that's bunny rabbit. Can we try it? And I was like, that is such a weird response, but awesome. So they ordered a couple of rabbits and cooked them up, and rabbit's fine. It's just the tiniest bit gamey, and it's a little on the stringy side. We grew up very poor, so we grew rabbits, actually, because rabbits convert grass into meat.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I think is reasonable.
Which part?
Meat nutrition for, like a reason.
Yeah.
Like, having a purpose to eat meat, I think that meat consumption is fine.
Yeah.
But...
well, it's a very efficient way for protein and everything. Like,
yeah, well, especially if you're, like, feeding them scraps, or just, like, they're just eating the grass.
Yeah.
You know. Let them eat that grass, and then go eat them.
Yeah.
Circle of life. That's the circle of life. What's not the circle of life is you going to the grocery store and buying a factory farmed animal that's
buying
been
that
full of
chicken that has been pecked to death by other chickens because they're infected with shit. Yeah,
it's nasty. That's nasty.
Chickens and like there are some cows that are raised in decent conditions in America, but most of them aren't.
Well, a lot of them are raised in good conditions, right?
Okay.
They're raised on these ranches, but then they go to feedlots where they get force-fed, essentially, in these tiny little stalls. So it's like the end of their life. That's extremely torturous. So, like, once they get sold and then go off to the feedlot, that's when...
That's why foie gras is illegal almost everywhere.
Foie gras, they actually have to put... they actually had to put like tubes down the goose's throat and force feed them that way.
Yeah, well,
whereas feedlots just feed them really like lots of low quality food to fatten them up before slaughter. But they're just kept in suboptimal conditions.
Radio interview many years ago about a Spanish guy who invented a new way to do foie gras that was all voluntary eating, and it didn't cause the huge liver cirrhosis. But it was just like, give them a oasis of foods, and whatever that food is that they're eating comes through in the final product. And they just, if you keep it stocked with food, they'll stay there as long as they can. And then you just grab a couple of them and you butcher them, and you get ethical foie gras, which... Yeah,
most animals will want to just eat constantly.
Yeah.
If you let them.
But
they just want to eat a lot of really good food.
The way chickens are kept in America is
it's so bad.
Enormous indoor buildings with a quarter to a tenth of the amount of land per animal that is recommended. I don't know if that's going to show up.
It's
in
actually
recording.
safer if they're in cages versus the free range.
Okay, I did not know
That's how bad that is. Well, yeah. So if you're like, go to your farmer's market, get your local eggs from some random person that just has these chickens. That's fine. But like, if it's like cage free versus caged eggs, the caged is often safer for the animal because they're not pecking each other or walking all over each other, covered in each other. Yeah, it's just horrible. But also, chicken farmers in America are heavily exploited, and no one talks about the chicken farmers. These people that gobble up their little chicken, they don't ever talk about the chicken farmers. So what Big Chicken has done, okay, so suppliers like Tyson will sublease out, like they'll kind of like weirdly profit share with these farmers. So the farmers will have all the facilities for the chickens, but they won't technically own the chickens. The chickens are owned and provided by these large corporations like Tyson. And then so the farmers have to do all the like legwork and all the work, and then Tyson gets a share of the profits. But where this really comes to be a problem is because there have been so many changes in regulations with how chickens need to be kept, with like how much open air there needs to be, how much space there needs to be, cage versus cage free, how much time they have to free roam, is that these farmers then have to pay to make all these changes. So they get millions and millions of dollars in debt from changing all these facilities, and they can't afford the chickens, and they can't afford this. So they're in so much debt to these, like, they're in a lot of debt, and they're not making enough money off the chicken from these chicken companies because they're being exploited by Tyson. So they're really struggling, and they can't get out of farming these chickens from Tyson because they're in so much debt from changing their facilities and stuff.
Okay. That's how a lot of Walmart shit happens too, basically.
Yeah.
Just there aren't animals involved.
Yeah. It's the vertical integration or whatever.
Yep.
Or that's not even
that's
not vertical integration.
Not quite.
That's just exploiting people.
Yeah. Walmart basically says this is what we're going to pay, and if you don't sell it to us for that, we won't buy it. And this requires shitty shit to happen.
Right. Because some